What is breaking? And other questions about the Olympics' newest sport, answered. We're now more than halfway through the 2024 Summer Olympics, and while the staple sports such as swimming and gymnastics have been completed, Paris still has a lot left in store. Anticipation is particularly high when it comes to breaking, the game's newest sport. Breaking, also known as breakdancing, may ring a bell to anyone who was around in the 80s. The intricate footwork, the physics-defying stunts, the style. But the art form has developed since its earlier days. People aren't carrying cardboard boxes around anymore, though parachute pants have certainly made a strong comeback. On Friday, this style of dance will make its debut at the Paris Olympics, with women athletes, also known as B-girls, competing first, followed by the men, or B-boys, on Saturday. The action will take place at the Place de la Concorde, Paris' largest public square, and the Olympics' Cool Kid Corner, where the other urban events, BMX, skateboarding, etc., have taken place. We're now more than halfway through the 2024 Summer Olympics, and while the staple sports such as swimming and gymnastics have been completed, Paris still has a lot left in store. Anticipation is particularly high when it comes to breaking, the game's newest sport. Breaking, also known as breakdancing, may ring a bell to anyone who was around in the 80s. The intricate footwork, the physics-defying stunts, the style. But the art form has developed since its earlier days. People aren't carrying cardboard boxes around anymore, though parachute pants have certainly made a strong comeback. On Friday, this style of dance will make its debut at the Paris Olympics, with women athletes, also known as B-girls, competing first, followed by the men, or B-boys, on Saturday. The action will take place at the Place de la Concorde, Paris' largest public square, and the Olympics' Cool Kid Corner, where the other urban events, BMX, skateboarding, etc., have taken place. With the introduction of any Olympic sport, a lot of questions arise. How did this event arrive at the Olympics, and why does it feel at least 4 decades too late? How can you standardize something that's judged differently at various tournaments around the world? And why isn't this sport, which has drawn enough hype that even Snoop Dogg is excited for it, returning for the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics? Here's everything you need to know about breaking at the Olympics. I thought it was called breakdancing? Why do they call it breaking? While it might seem like a new term, breakdancing has actually always, and originally, been referred to as breaking. The counterculture hip-hop dance form, which emerged from Black and Latino communities in the Bronx of New York City in the 1970s, was born when people would dance to a break, in a track played at parties and gatherings. This was the dawn of hip-hop music, identifiable by both the reliance on a loop of a sample and then the satisfying break, an instrumental interlude when everything but the hefty percussion drops out, in a track. Then, hip-hop pioneers found ways to extend the break, which meant extended breaking on the dance floor. As b-boy and hip-hop historian Alien Ness attests in an episode of Vox's Today, Explained podcast, once you start extending the break, you have the birth of hip-hop music. The concept is somewhat evident in this clip in the classic 1984 film Beat Street. You can hear the DJ switch to a sample with no vocals, and then continue to mix the part of the track that is solely percussion. That's the break. The term, breakdancing, was used commercially to explain the art form to the masses, but the original term is preferred by dancers and is seen as a more direct and respectful nod to the birth of hip-hop culture. As Team USA B-girl Sunny Choi put it to Time, "If you call it breakdancing, you're not a breaker." So, how will breaking work on the Olympic stage? Breaking will undergo a bracket-style order of operations. There will be 2 separate competitions for men and women, with 16 B-boys and 16 B-girls, though there will be a pre-qualifying battle between the 17th and 16th seed B-girls before the main event begins. The dancers will be placed into 4 groups of 4 that will go head-to-head in solo battles in a round-robin, meaning that, in these groups, every athlete will face off against every other athlete at least once, meaning 3 battles per athlete in a group of 4. Each battle will consist of 3 rounds, also called throwdowns. where one breaker will get 60 seconds to improvise some moves to previously unheard music chosen by a DJ before the other competitor gets a chance to immediately respond with their own 60-second throwdown. Whoever wins the best of the 3 rounds, per the judges' scoring system, wins the battle. The 2 best breakers of each group will then move on to the quarterfinals, or the knockout stage, where they will be seeded into a bracket, with the lower seed facing off against the higher seed. From there, it works like a usual bracket where the winner of the battle moves on to the next round. Sounds simple enough, but how will it be judged? Is it kind of like gymnastics? Not at all. There is no set routine planned out beforehand, so, unlike in gymnastics, there is no agreed degree of difficulty for a given routine. But before I get into what the judges are looking for, I need to explain what they'll be looking at. The World Dance Sport Federation has designated 3 main elements of breaking. The top rock, this generally refers to all moves performed while the breaker is standing, which usually means intricate footwork. The freeze, when an athlete holds a pose in an unusual position, like on their head or hands, during their performance. And the down rock, all parts of the performance that occur on the floor. The down rock holds the most identifiable parts of breakdancing, power moves like head spins, air flares, and windmills. 9 judges will look out for 5 WDSF-created criteria that each count for 20% of the final score: technique, vocabulary, execution, musicality, and originality. Technique involves certain moves having specific criteria, such as flexing or pointing your toes, but will also include the judge's perception of the breaker's athleticism, form, spatial awareness, and so forth. Vocabulary means that the dancers should aim to perform a variety of moves in multiple positions, meaning you'd want a good combo of top rock and down rock. Execution will hinge on how cleanly the moves are done and how distinct each move is from the one before and after it. The overall routine should flow, but not blur together. This is crucial, because there's an art to the build of a breaking composition, which usually moves like a narrative, accelerating up to an explosive action punctuated by a freeze. Good execution also involves not falling, or crashing. Of course. Finally, musicality and originality are a given. It still is a competitive dance form, after all. The judges will use sliders to indicate their scores, showing audiences how one dancer might be outperforming another in a specific category. The result will be 1 vote from each judge per round, in favor of either competitor, derived from their given percentages. The odd number of judges prevents the event of a